What's happening in Ukraine is one of the biggest stories of our time. It's a war that's shocked the world, changed global politics, and affected millions of lives. Two countries that once had close ties are now locked in a bitter fight. But what led them down this path? Why are these two nations who share cultural and historical roots now hurling missiles and sending tanks to take each other's land? The answer isn't simple, and it's a story that goes back over many years. Ukraine and Russia have been connected for a very long time. Back in the days of the former Soviet Union, Ukraine was part of that big group of countries ruled by the... After the Soviet Union broke up in 1991, Ukraine became a free and independent country again. This was a big moment, because after being part of the Soviet Union for so long, they were finally on their own. However, being an independent country also meant making tough decisions about the future. You see, after the Cold War ended, Europe had a big plan called the Partnership for Peace, which was like a stepping stone for Eastern European countries who wanted to join NATO. This program helped Ukraine as they worked on modernizing their army and getting ready to join NATO. As time went on, people in Ukraine started feeling more connected to Europe and the United States than to Russia. They wanted to be part of the Western world and enjoy the freedoms and protections that came with it. Many Ukrainians started dreaming about joining both NATO and the European Union. But here's where things get complicated. For a long time, Russia didn't like the idea of Ukraine getting close to the West. They felt like Ukraine was a part of their area of influence and should stay close to them, not the other way around. It was like a game of tug-of-war with Ukraine in the middle. The two sides kept pulling and pushing until things got really tense. In 2004, there was a big fight over Ukraine's Orange Revolution. This was a movement where people wanted to choose their own leader and be closer to Europe. Things got so bad that Russia tried to influence the elections in Ukraine and install a leader they liked. The plan was to keep Ukraine under Russia's control by having someone friendly in charge. This made a lot of Ukrainians feel like Russia was trying to boss them around, like they weren't allowed to make their own choices. It was a wake-up call for Ukraine and made them want to break free from Russia's influence even more. Then, in 2014, things blew up. The Ukrainian government decided to turn away from Russia and sign a deal to be closer to the European Union. This was like Ukraine choosing to side with the West. But Russia didn't take this move lightly. They felt like Ukraine was betraying them and decided to teach them a lesson. In Crimea, a place that was a part of Ukraine, but had lots of people who liked Russia, things got out of control. People started to want Crimea to be a part of Russia instead of Ukraine. With Russia's support, this movement gained momentum. Eventually, Crimea left Ukraine and became a part of Russia. This event showed how serious Russia was about keeping Ukraine in their corner. They were afraid to take action. If they felt like Ukraine was getting too close to the West, this was just the beginning. Not long after, fights broke out in eastern Ukraine between the people who wanted to stay with Ukraine and those who wanted to leave and join Russia. Some people say that Russia started these fights to make Ukraine weaker and less likely to join NATO. As time went on, things kept getting worse. Ukraine wanted to be independent and make their own decisions, but Russia wanted to control them and tell them what to do. It was like two magnets that can't be together. They attract each other, but they also push each other away. Then in 2022, everything changed. Russia took a big step that shocked the world. They sent their army into Ukraine to take over the country. It was like a bully picking on someone smaller. The Russian army was much stronger, but Ukraine was brave and kept fighting back. It's hard to explain why Russia did this. Maybe they thought they could easily win and take Ukraine's land. Or maybe they wanted to show the world that they are strong and in charge. Whatever the reason, this war has hurt a lot of people. Millions of Ukrainians have had to leave their homes. Cities have been destroyed and families torn apart. It's a sad and scary situation. And while some people might think this war is about land and borders, it's really about something deeper. It's about the right of every country to be free and make their own choices without being bothered by others. No matter how powerful you are, you shouldn't try to boss other countries around. Everyone should be able to decide their own path and make their own mistakes. We all learn from our mistakes, but we can't learn if someone keeps telling us what to do. Imagine if someone took away your freedom and told you what to think, where to work, and who to be friends with. You wouldn't feel good about it. You want to be in charge of your life and make your own choices. And every country deserves the same freedom. Now, It's important to remember that everyone is a human being, no matter where they're from or what side of the war they're on. The people in Ukraine are going through a tough time, and they need our compassion and support. It's not fair that they have to suffer because of the actions of their leaders. That's why it's important to keep learning about different countries and cultures. The more we know about each other, the more we can understand and appreciate our differences. We should focus on being kind to one another and helping those in need. Spreading hate and violence won't solve anything, and it hurts everyone. Instead of thinking about this war as a fight between two countries, let us think of it as a reminder to be thankful for our own freedom and the freedom of others. Let's hope for a day when this war ends and everyone can live in peace. If you've made it this far, it means you find this kind of content valuable. But we need your help to keep producing these videos. Click the like button to show us you approve, and share this video with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on our latest content. Thanks for watching.